more delicate about that stuff than violin players. Because if they don't hear the rhythm section in tune, you know, it's like stabbing them in the back every time we play a song. They do not feel comfortable playing because they don't hear pitch as well. ¿Otra vez, So, pitch, you know, tuning up. I know you guys, your teachers are right on that, but let me tell you, you could never be, you should never be satisfied about where you're at with pitch. Always try to get better at pitch. Because when you get to a certain level, sometimes you're thrown in with people that are very much in tune, and the last thing that they want is somebody to be in their section that plays out of tune because he'll throw everybody out. Yeah? Or you'll develop bad habits with somebody that doesn't want to play at a level that you're playing. So, you know, we try to take care a lot, you know, when it comes to that. Vamos a ir a, por ejemplo, ahorita que estamos en la y tocamos en Viejo San Juan, la introducción. Bueno, when it's out of tune, you hear this tension. When it's in tune, you hear this openness to the key. So what I'm saying is very elementary, you know, but man, it's the basis of everything. So if you don't have that foundation, that's why I don't know how much I stress upon you guys playing scales, practicing your scales, practicing them, especially violinists, right? It's like super boring, but man, how many hours of scales have you done before in etudes? Studying?
Well, I don't do it now, but it's a little kid a lot. Because, yeah, seriously, I told those of you in the classes that people we're working with, it's very important because you have to know intervals, space between the notes. You have to know what it sounds like and what it feels like. It's for your ear. It's also so when you go up here, like I told you kids, you're not searching for notes. You know automatically when you see a passage, okay, there's 2 or 3 ways I can do this that are technically by the book and the correct way of doing the violin. And plus, this too is for hearing too, because if you don't do scales, if you haven't practiced scales or you know how to do a 3-octave scale, that means you haven't really worked on centering your pitch that much. So that's going to translate over to the violin. So when you want to tune, like I told some of you kids, too, you get your A, but if you haven't done that stuff, sometimes you might not have worked on hearing that pitch, and that's a constant, it's an ongoing thing. It's always happening. We always have to pay attention to that when we're up on stage. We ask each other, hey, am I okay? Or, oh, you're a little sharp or a little flat. Because we want to get better. You know, we're very open-minded about this stuff. Oh, it's a little flat. Okay, let's make an adjustment. Because obviously, like right now, you can say, you're not really paying attention. It's like, oh, it sounds nice, but the top trumpet's a little flat. You can hear that, and it should bug you a little bit. It's like I told some of the kids. Basically, if you haven't done those type of things, when you actually want to tune your instrument, you might not be able to tell if it's out of tune. So if you're like this, I'm ready. Obviously, it's out of tune, right? You have to listen to what it sounds like when it's in tune. That's the annoying part of music because you always have to be paying attention. Since the human factor comes into it, we all make mistakes. You know, there's not one show where we play everything perfectly correct, perfectly in tune. But that's why it's an ongoing thing. You always have to pay attention to it. And when you do pay attention to it, give it a lot of detail, successful compared to someone that doesn't.
And in mariachi, the difficult thing about mariachi is that you're not sitting there like being in an orchestra. You're sitting there, it's about you playing, together with everyone, and you're concentrating on that. You don't have to worry about people looking at you smile. You don't have to worry about you singing. In mariachi, you have to do all that stuff. Or you could play a song like Ella, Volver, Volver, where the people get all into the song, and they're not really paying attention if you're playing in tune or not. So you can get away with playing out of tune. 90% of groups get away with that. But it's a personal thing. It's a personal, you guys, how much do you respect yourself as a musician to say, you know what, I know that the people are having a great time and they're going to applaud anyways. I could just coast around and not worry about pitch. Well, that's not having respect for music, first of all, and not having respect for your compañeros. Because when you are always constant trying to be in tune, you draw everybody towards you because they want to go, well, this guy's a good guy for me. He's in tune, and I could learn a lot from that person. But when you have 10, 12, 13 guys on the same page, like Eric said, it's not a perfect thing. The instruments are constantly moving. Sometimes with the guitarón, you're in tune, in 440, you're in tune, and then you press on an E flat, and with the pressure, of the position, it goes up to 443. It's the nature of the instrument. Same thing happens with la vihuela. Once you start playing A flat and E flat, because of the pressure that you put in the strings, it goes up to 443. And many a times, does Eric or the guy say, "Are you playing sharp?" I go, "Yeah, but the rhythm section is sort of driving us that way sometimes, because they're the ones who are driving the pitch for the whole group, basically." But for me, when I'm playing, I'm constantly listening to the first violins, constantly to try to make sure that I'm locking in with them. I don't want you guys to think that, just because you see us play yesterday, that we're just having fun playing notes. Believe me, all the things that I'm talking about, that's what's going through our heads when we're playing. Plus trying to play the music nice, plus trying to, phrase together. You get very meticulous when it comes to stuff like that. Now when we play the real traditional things like sones, it's a whole different ball of wax, because sones is not just about playing the notes. Like if we play, okay, todo bien. Trumpet players, look at the difference now how we're going to play it right now. Okay? Try to hear the difference of what you just heard and what you're going to hear now. Toquen otra vez. No corten la primera nota. Da, 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 da. No corten. Aggressively. But what did you hear the difference as far as the style of playing? It's, you could call it like more rustic. But in the world of classical music, your comments are actually, they make a lot of musical sense. Because you could say it's more rugged, or it's overpowering the violins. But when it comes to mariachi music, it's more tasteful. You understand what I mean? You know why? Because I'm really locking in with it rhythmically. And I'm sort of playing aggressively so everybody could go get into more of a style of playing this song. So when we play, toca Chuy, without the bass. We're interpreting the song. I'm not just playing 8 notes parejito, balanced, not rugged, just clean. That's not mariachi. Mariachi es alma, es espíritu, es el sabor. And sometimes when we play sones, it's very hard to play a son super clean. Why? Because the style sort of dictates for us to use a lot more bowing. The bowing's more aggressive. Toquen poquito. Ba, 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 ba. Toquen eso. Ba, 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 ba. ¿Verdad? It's aggressive and it's in tune, but there's a certain thing to it. I want you to hear it again, like the way we played from the beginning, the trumpets, how we played with them the first time that we played it, okay? Otra vez, okay? If we're playing a cappella in a restaurant without any sound system, we would have to balance ourselves so you could hear everything. But when we're playing on stage, when they're mic'd, everybody else is mic'd, and now they're sort of at the same level as the trumpets, how we play and how we interpret is with even more accent so we could bring everybody together with us. No? Otra vez. Es como que es más sabroso because we're really making more of an impact with when it comes to the accents of the song. Right? And that's what really drives when people listen to sones, especially when you're in Jalisco, you're in places that people have heard sones all their lives. When they hear mariachi playing with the accents, the correct accents, they love it. But when they hear you playing with the incorrect accents, they say, es un mariachi de allá. Del otro lado son. Yeah? Would you like them saying that? You don't want them saying, es un mariachi de allá. You want them saying, oye, que sabroso tocan los sones. So I'm trying to, I want you guys to realize and to try to picture the difference between the two interpretations that we're doing. The violins are basically playing the same. Chuy is probably playing the same too. Now, Chuy, his volume sort of changes sometimes because he goes with the sway of my trumpet playing. When I played y le meto más el jícamo, so it drives him to interpret also different, and we sort of feed off of each other. And I feed off of the violins too. When I'm hearing that they're playing together and they're playing the accents like really, really, really good, se oye muy bien. Se oye muy bien. Mira, pásame un violín. Pásame. Let me read it. Okay. violin part, right? No, like I don't play violin all the time, but I'm trying to improvise that, no? So if I tell Joaquin, toca tercera tú, ¿verdad? I'm going to play first, he's going to play third, huh? ¿Entiendes? Toca primera tú, toca segunda tú, o toca tercera tú. Tú tocas primera. ¿Yeah? ¿Ah? O sea, this traditional stuff, we play first, second, or third, first, second, or third, first, second, or third. Even if we didn't practice it, we already hear the harmonies in our head. It's not, because if we learn song by song, believe me, you'll be very, very much behind. Right now what your teachers are giving you are the foundations to get you to that next level. But the only people that can get you to that, besides your teachers, are you yourselves and saying, you know what, I still have a lot to learn to get to that level. ¿Verdad? Si yo digo, ahí vamos a tocar el rey en do. ¿Ah? ¿De ahí? Tercera tú. You know, so a lot of people that do write me say, why, what do I have to do to audition with Sol? I don't know. I mean, you just can't come and learn something that you already know by memory. You have to come and you have to, we'll put you on the spot, we'll take you in the back, and they're usually like, a ver, vamos a tocar, we improvise something, a ver, toca segunda, oh, I only know first. Well, that's like the first sign, that's not like the first sign of saying, okay, he doesn't have a lot of experience, right? But,
like, I was telling some of you kids yesterday, there's one thing that's like, what did I say yesterday? I don't know if it's yesterday or the day before. I said, when we do stuff in Sol de Mexico and majority of other groups that we've been in, you do everything by ear. So you want to, some of us are a little faster than others, whatever, but we all take our phone, we learn stuff, you know. That's a part of the essence of mariachi. Apart from that, if you're a violinist, you're not a one-trick pony that just, I only play first. Because when you go to LA and you go to a job, they might say, pues toca la segunda. Más toco primera, entonces vas a estar bien perdido. You know? No, that's one thing. When I came into Sol de Mexico, he was Joaquin was in charge of the violins. He played first, and I came into the group. And at the restaurant, I'd play second or whatever. At the shows, I would play third. And then they said, okay, now play this, play that. And I would ask him. I would go to his house because I'm very dedicated. I would go to his house. Hey, this song, on the breaks, like we actually played.
He's my nephew. If he didn't want to go to his house, he didn't have to go to his house.
Not even because I wanted to, because I want to learn the stuff. I don't want to be lost. You know, because I started with classical music, and I was like the melody of playing mariachi, playing the first of all, trying to play out and trying to play in tune. Otherwise, it's the melody. That's very easy. It's more tricky when you start playing like segunda, tercera. So I'd go with him, we're studying the breaks, tape three songs a break, or go to his house, you know, tape about 4 or 5 songs. I would go over them. So that now, thanks to that, from his help and help from my uncle or for other people, and then it helped me develop an ear for mariachi. So if someone says, hey, play third, okay, I'll play third. Play second, I'll play second.
It's fun.
And I prefer to play second and third because I don't have to worry about playing the first and being up here and worrying about the intonations like that. That's the harder part about it. But there's 2 things I think as a violinist is essence of mariachi. You have to have an ear to pick up the stuff. You have to work on it to try to develop it. Some just have better ears than others, whatever. As long as you learn it and get the job done, that's all you need. The other thing is too, is being what they call cordero. You could say like, oh, that guy plays bomb, well, he must play it first. No, like some of the best guys in LA. One of them that I look up to a lot besides him, because he plays very well. His uncle plays well. There's this other man in LA, he plays really well. You ask him to play first, second, third, apart from playing well, he has an ear and he plays all things. So you want to make sure that you do that too. That's I only play first. I only play from 5th position and above. Make life easier yourself for other things too, because play third and you can be like, half asleep playing and you're playing the tune.
Por
So
ejemplo,
it's difficult.
Joaquín, él entró, cuando estaba yo con mi familia, estábamos trabajando con los galleros. Él entró, ¿cuántos? Estaba bien chiquito ahí. He was like 16 years old when he started playing with us, with the family. Pero también, ¿cómo sentías tú? Bueno, porque sus tíos son mariacheros, papá, también, o sea, ¿te pusieron todo el papel?
No.
Y no, era todo. Bien,
Todo de oído por oído. Sí. Grabando, haciendo grabaciones y todo eso.
And what's really great is when we do, like, I think of the Nationals, I don't know if I had some of your kids last year, but in the Nationals, I know that I was teaching a master's class, and the kids went in there and they were like, and they thought I was going to give them music. I go, no music. I go,
Oh, yeah.
no, it's going to be all by ear. By ear? I go, yeah. I go, you have to learn 5 songs in 2 days for the singers that are competing. But what arrangements are there? I go, well, I'm going to make the arrangements right here in front of you guys, and I'm going to tell you your parts. Like what we do sometimes.
That's how, I told you kids, that's how he did Rey La Huasteca. He changed it a lot before he actually, like, and then on that CD, it wasn't even supposed to come out in the CD, but he took it out, he would tinker with it, and then people liked it, so, oh, we're going to record it. And actually, we recorded it kind of fast, too, because it's very difficult to play. We don't play it that much, so you have to work on it, because it's difficult. But that's a good example, like, that was by ear, so your ears kind of, we try to develop on it, and if it's, you don't capture things as fast, that's okay, just take your phone and record it. Because we don't want to get up on stage and, oh, I don't know my parts. I'm very direct, I don't like that, we don't like it, we get up on stage, we know our parts. That we mess it up is another thing, because we're stupid. But we know our parts.
But I think when we do the masters, it's like, I'm not only teaching them the notes, I'm sort of singing them their parts. So not only are they learning their notes, they're learning the way to phrase the notes. They're learning how to interpret the notes. And everything like rolled up in one.
I think it's kind of like a minor form of dictation, right? That's
Yeah,
what dictation
like
in theory.
when
You
you-
listen and you have to try
Yeah,
to see
because
what notes are.
when you see it written down, you're just like trying to read it and you're just focusing, you know. Like I asked Jesus Rodríguez de Harvard, le digo, oye, don Jesús, ¿por qué en los 50 los discos del Mariachi Vargas se oye el mariachi pero bien? Para mí, se oye bien sabroso, se oye bien bonito, pues. Y dice, ¿sabes por qué? Le digo, ¿por qué? Porque no leíamos música. Because we did everything by ear and it was all feel. He goes, when we started learning how to read music, he goes, we started letting go of a lot of the stuff of the essence. He goes, it wasn't until after when we started trying to balance both things. And you guys, that's your job, to learn how to read music and to balance the style of playing mariachi music.